When our family needed help so many years ago, we did careful research to find out who was the best person to see in Boston. And all roads led to Jerry Rosenbaum at MGH. For many years, that's how we knew him, as a trusted and gifted physician, because he's empathetic, compassionate, and brilliant. He's everything you would want in a physician. It's only later that we learned of his leadership as the chief of psychiatry and of the extraordinary department that he directs. For 19 out of the last 23 years, it has earned the #1 ranking in psychiatry from U.S. News and World Reports. Jerry is internationally renowned expert in mood and anxiety disorders. He's also the past chair of the hospital's Executive Committee on Research. Mass General has the largest hospital-based research program in the country, with nearly $900 million in research funds. That's more than most biomedical research funds have in universities. And finally, Jerry is now a co-chair of the hospital's philanthropy program. Please join me in welcoming Jerry Rosenbaum.
Thanks, Michelle, and thanks to Howard and Michelle for hosting this again. And I have to say that one of the truly most important, meaningful, gratifying experiences in my career has been being connected to Howard and Michelle, to Carol, to be part of the Leadership Council enterprise, to get to know so many of you, and to feel your love and support for what we do. It really means a great deal. And welcome again to our 12th seminar. That means 12 years. We've brought you 3 or 4 different topics from our department, different presenters over these years. That's 40 or 50 people you've gotten to hear. That gives you a sense of who we are and how we think about things and our depth and breadth. This seminar is again a chance to share information about psychiatric disorders, or sometimes called mental illness more broadly, all these conditions that can really alter a person's life, change how they think, feel, and behave. And as has been the case for the last 11 years, we've designed a new program, new topics, new presenters, new information. We're going to have 3 formal presentations, and then we're going to have, at the end, something that I know you've all appreciated, which is a story of recovery told in the words of a person who has had that journey. A story that so many of us know. It really underpins our motto of "No family goes untouched," that the journey to mental health can be long and fraught and has its ups and downs. But in the end, if you are fortunate to have the right care and competent psychologists and psychiatrists, that it is realistic to aspire to regain your well-being and return to productive and fulfilling lives, even when at times seem most dark. We've allowed some time after each presentation for a question or two from the audience, but we will end, as we have traditionally in the past, with a panel discussion where all questions unanswered during the seminar can be asked, and even questions that may be unrelated. Dr. John Herman, our associate chief, will be leading the panel discussion, and we'll have an extended faculty up here so we can cover a variety of topics. In the audience, we have a few people who will be joining us for the panel. I'd just like to give a shout out to them. One is Tony Weiner, who's a geriatric psychiatrist and director of our older adult psychiatry program. Jeff Prince, a child and adolescent psychiatrist at MGH and director of child psychiatry at North Shore. And John Alpert, our associate chief until some months ago, who left to become the chief of psychiatry and professor of psychiatry and neuroscience at Montefiore Medical Center and Albert Einstein, but he's always our dear colleague. So could I just ask the 3 of you to stand briefly and just so people know who you are? And I really appreciate their coming down to lend their weight to our discussion. So we're hoping for a robust discussion. There's a lot of information out there. I think better than worse is there's a lot more in the media these days about mental health issues, about disorders, about needs and challenges, and we are always glad for the chance to talk about these with you. As you've heard, our department has evolved over the years to have 60 clinical and research programs. Every one of these programs is robust. Some of them are the size of most other departments, whole departments of psychiatry. We have fundamental research in genetics, neuroimaging, cell biology to identify biomarkers, risk and treatment response. We have programs in virtually every disorder that you can think of in every modality of treatment, from medications to psychotherapies to, as you'll hear today, neurotherapeutics, brain stimulation devices, to alternative remedies from yoga, exercise, diet, sleep, and so forth. We like to think of our department as the epitome of the clinician-scientist model, that so many of our caregivers, the people who are delivering care, are also researchers themselves. And you've heard the phrase bench to bedside, and it's not just the institution that's bench to bedsides, but it's really our faculty that even within themselves are bench to bedside, who are taking the challenges they face and caring for people back to their research, and one informing another. Again, whether you want to ask about one of the presentations or later about anything at all that's on your mind, we hope we'll have some time to address it. If it's not something we've specifically studied at Mass General, hopefully we know enough about it to either address the question or just make something up. So, anyway, we do invite your questions, and we'll have a microphone in the audience, and also we have some cards at your seat that you can write questions on if you prefer that. And we look forward to our exchange with you today's seminar.